Alright guys, welcome back. So COREWEAVE, CRWV, so this stock is at 149, all-time high is 166. So what I'm watching from here now for this name, so we have covered this name a few times. So very first time, I think I talked about this one super early actually, when it was sitting May 3rd around like 48, 47, right around here, comparing it with Reddit, but it did keep squeezing significantly higher. So I thought it would go higher, pull back slightly, and then push higher to these levels, just like Reddit has done. And then pretty much you can see what happened. Essentially, people couldn't borrow this stock. It was getting shorted heavily, and it just kept going. So in the last 4 or 5 trading sessions, you can see it's been in a consolidation mode, and you can see at the same time this gray line on my chart represents 5-day SMA. So anytime this is uptrending, stock is in an uptrend. As soon as it starts rolling over, I become cautious, and as soon as stock starts closing below 5-day moving average, I will be looking for some downside potential. So far, COREWEAVE holding that 5-day moving average. We have a big option expiration right here, and I talked about this one earlier, somewhere around here, when I said 200+% already, May 22nd, saying that it's basically getting overextended. And after that, well, I was expecting again this could have gone a little bit more, but then you can see what happened. It's just volume started going lower, and options essentially getting stuffed, and it is getting essentially trapped by option traders, essentially selling the calls, selling the puts, and pretty much trapping the stock in the range. And as the range gets tighter, so essentially average true range, that's the volatility of the stock, this will be essentially burning and decaying the options contracts. And you can see at the moment $15 range, that's the volatility of the stock, which means 10% range every single day. I mean, that's a lot for a stock. So going into the option expiration, my first area of support would be if it tries to like come down in a choppy way, just going up and down. And if it comes down to these 20-day moving averages, I would be watching this area as a support. But I'm not expecting it to roll over big into this option expiration, because usually stocks try to just do absolutely nothing and burn premium, and that's what I call IV crush between OPEX to OPEX. So this is the beginning of the option expiration, this is the end of the option expiration for June, and I'm expecting after option expiration some sort of a pullback, because all the options that are into that June 20th are going to be expiring. And here's what's going on with that. Let's take a look at the max pain. Borrowing, it's still hard to borrow, okay? There's not much people can borrow shares in order to short it. So you can see the max pain 140-ish level, and yeah, there's not significant amount of contracts, but they're decent sized contracts sitting right there in this week's expiration and then next week's expiration. Next week we have a Fed rate decision. Next week we have a Juneteenth, which is market short day. So essentially Thursday market is going to be closed, and then Friday we're going to have another full day. So this is going to essentially mean that a lot of people will be off. Volume will be lower next week probably, and I would expect this name hold these levels. And just if it wants to go lower, I'm not expecting it to go lower than 124, which is a resistance. I watched it for a bit and then it broke out. Said now I will watch this level as a support area. So put to call ratio, I just showed you guys there's not much going on. There's not much to read about and say that people are extremely bullish or bearish. You can see only 11% of today's volume, even though 266,000 calls traded on, only 11% traded at the asking price versus puts 28% at the asking price. So that's not significant for me to say that there are a lot of people coming in. There are people trying to bet to the downside, but again, the only time you want to bet against when stock starts cracking. You don't want to like try to short it. Intraday, you can definitely go in and out, just like today. Maybe if you thought that it was presenting some sort of a weakness, you could definitely go trade it intraday. But you can see off today's 5-day moving average on my chart, this line, you can see this stock rebounded after market close. You can see it's above it. So unless it trades below this 5-day moving average and stays below this 5-day moving average, I'm not looking to short this name. And same thing to the upside. Unless this stock breaks the resistance area of 166, 167 area, I'm not looking to long this name. If it breaks out, it would be pretty good to trade it intraday. But so far, it's in the range. It's in IV crush mode because volatility has gone pretty crazy in the last few days and weeks as the stock pushed almost fourfold, threefold. And you can see as volume comes off, we can see already after these 2, 3, 4 huge days of 50 million a day volume, now in the last 4 or 5 days, we are at 25 million volume days. As it goes lower back to its norm, which is 10 million, options are going to crush, IV is going to crush, the volatility is going to come down, cool off slightly, and that will pretty much make it difficult if you are somebody who has calls or naked puts. Even though stock could move in your direction, if it's outside of the money, it will not appreciate. You can even lose money regardless of it going down. So this is what I call IV crush, because if you're buying options, you are essentially paying top dollar for this stock. So gotta be nimble with these kind of names, and it's also new IPO. So I'm watching this name neutral to slightly bearish after the OPEX. So that's my update for COREWEAVE, CRWV, and this is not a buy or sell recommendation. This is purely for entertainment and educational purposes only. Take care. Peace.